Hey guys, what's cracking? What's cracking? Lacking. I know I ain't been here for a couple days, but we haven't had much going on until just like a couple days. So we're gonna be going into that. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and let me know we're good. Oh man, I'll be 5 for 5. All right, thanks, Flamin'. Got you, brother. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I am still gonna hold to my rule of getting everything out in the front at the beginning. Okay. I know people are appreciating that. I think it works better for everybody, so I really do. I'll give a couple more seconds here to get everybody in here, but so what I'll talk about right now, guys, radio blackout condition, right there, R1. That was from flares. Now, anytime you get the lowest level of an M-class flare, it's going to say this, R1. Now, I want to say this to begin with, that just because that says a radio blackout doesn't mean that everybody experienced that. What that means is the conditions that they were getting and reading would tell you that it was a very good possibility of some radio blackouts. Usually with these impulsive flares, which is what these are. Okay, up, down, up, down, up, down. These are not long duration flares. These are very impulsive, flashing, boom, 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 right? And so basically they're here and gone. I mean, really, really quick. So what you get is you do get a radio blackout on the day side. And with it being on the day side, it depends on what time of day or what time it is. Whoever's facing the sun, that's who would experience the radio blackout. But it would most likely be short-lived on these little flashes. Okay? Now, sometimes we get the longer duration flares, and it'll push out those x-rays for a lot longer period of time. Okay? So that's just, it's just the nature of what we do, what we talk about here with that. And when we do get the longer duration flares, we got a bigger chance for radiation storms. That's what the proton flux is trying to tell you there. When we get blasted with a bunch of protons, they consider that a radiation storm. You'll see the storm levels start to rise here, and we can talk about that when that happens. Now, typically, if you get a big flare and a big CME, from the same area of the sun at the same time, you will definitely, most likely, you're going to see a radiation storm also. That usually takes about 20 minutes to get here. It's not moving at the speed of light. Okay, these are protons. They're moving really fast, but they're not moving at the speed of light like X-rays are. Okay, they're not part of the light spectrum. But while I'm here, I'm going to show you this. You see how low our geomagnetic activity is? And, I've been talking about this off and on because we've been experiencing this off and on. There is not hardly any geomagnetism hanging around right now. And that could be good and that could be bad all at the same time. When we don't have this, the chances of cosmic rays getting in are a lot more. So we got to start talking about that. People that fly high altitudes and high latitudes, closer to the poles. Prenatal passengers, they do not want you flying in these conditions. It's essentially like giving yourself an x-ray. People that fly, I think it's 800 hours a year, they limit how much of this you can be exposed to. So, cabin crew, the pilots, they have to check this stuff now. This hasn't always been the case. And they do now because they understand it more. So just keep that in mind. Now, we've had some CMEs also. So with some of these flares, we've had CMEs, we've had a filament release. I did a short earlier today, and I was talking about how the sun looked like the whole thing just kind of reacted all at once. You can legitimately see it travel all the way through the face of the sun. And we're gonna take a look at that here in just a second. But the big thing right now, guys, look at this hole. I mean, look at that coronal hole. That is not a hole in the sun. Let me just say that straight up. That is a hole in the corona, the atmosphere of the sun. It's opened up, and when that opens up like that, what's it do? It allows those particles to spew out, and they come at us. So the chances of this giving us a geomagnetic storm, I think, is actually fairly good. I do think you know, right now we're connected to this thing right now, okay? And how long we stay connected to it, it's going to depend on how fast it gets out of the way. You know what I mean? So we're going to be experiencing that. Once that stuff starts to get here, it's going to stick around for a minute because this hole is substantial. This is one of the bigger holes that we've experienced this sun cycle. Ones that's going to affect Earth anyway. Now we've had a filament down here too kind of release off, and I'll show you guys that on a different angstrom. But I just wanted to give you a quick little overview of that real quick. Most people are going to ask me how many Earths can fit in there. Oh man, a bunch, 30 plus probably. That's a big hole. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Once it gets to be a certain size, you just call it big and move on. Because it doesn't matter. It's going to give you all it's got. You see what I'm getting at? So hopefully you guys understand that. Oh, crap. Oh, that was not good, guys. Not good at all. Dumped my coffee on the floor. That sucks. Anyway, I'll take care of that when I get done. Not too much of it spilt. Yeah, that's what happens when you do real life. I guess I could have went off, but, I'm not going to do that. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, good song, by the way. Big black spot on the sun today. Same old thing as yesterday. Heck yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You're aging us, man. You are aging us. Gotta quit that. I'm good, Julie. No, it spilt a little. I was more concerned because it dumped right over a laptop I had sitting on the floor. Luckily, I had the lid on the cup, and so I'm pretty good at keeping that lid on it because I knew that this would eventually happen. So, yeah. So, but yes, thank you for extending me that patience. I do appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, I'll have to take care of that here in a few minutes. It's not bad though. So we're good. We're good. We're good. So I'm going to keep moving. All right, guys. So Coronal holes will throw coffee mugs off the table. Hey, wouldn't what's the matter, Ilea? You'll log in with another account. What are you talking about? Something going on again? Yeah, yeah. I guess I don't know what's going on with that. He somehow has you. If that's what's going on, he's got you blocked somehow. Or something's blocked your account from him being able to see it. Neither one of you guys are blocked here. So yeah. Anyway, so okay. Let's get moving here. Now, you see this right here? That is that coronal hole. The sun, that's the energy coming out of that coronal hole. Watch what happens here. See how it kind of just boom? And it does look like it's going to be impacting us. Well, that's not all the energy, but that's part of that energy. This stuff's going to get here in 2 to 3 days. And so that's what we're going to see. That's the density up here. But again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because it's a big coronal hole. It's going to send stuff our way. It's just simple as that. I've talked about that at length. I can't tell you how many times. But again, that's what we do here. We report on that stuff, right? And so there she is, back in with another account. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this coronal hole. Check that out. This is on the 211 angstroms from SDO. Now let me show you guys. I'm gonna back this up. Now it's kind of jerky because it missed a lot of data. Okay, There's a lot of data missing here. But what I want to show you is what was in my short earlier today. You're going to see an eruption over here kind of off the backside, but you're going to see it go through the whole face of the sun, and it disrupts enough, and this thing actually see that? Okay. Watch it start here. You'll see it go all the way down here, and then this filament releases. It's amazing. Watch this. See that right there? Watch it travel. Look at that. It blows my mind. You can see it better when you're moving it faster too. Watch. See that? Okay, and when this filament releases, what happens? A coronal hole opened up for a short amount of time. Now it closed back up rather quickly. Okay, but as you can see, that's a filament releasing. So that was a CME that fired off. So, yeah. Yeah, those holes are huge, aren't they, Baconator? For sure. Good to see you, by the way. This hole right here, like I said, guys, this is one of the biggest holes we've had that's impacting us this sun cycle. That is a very, very big coronal hole. Okay? And so what I'm saying, guys, is that this is going to give us space weather, solar wind, for an extended amount of time, and it's going to give us some pretty substantial stuff. I really think this is going to put us into geomagnetic storm levels. That's just my opinion. Now, whether it does or not, you know, it is what it is. But from my experience, this right here is going to give us a geomagnetic storm. And the only thing that might kind of tip that a little bit, I guess, is the timing of when this filament released and when it hits us, because that released the CME. Now we can't see it anymore because over here on where is that? I know I had it. I know I had that. Did I I must have Okay, so this is NASA's in little spiral. This is only going to show you one CME at a time, and I don't like that about this, okay? Because there's other CMEs that fired off. I showed you guys one a day or two ago. It fired off right at us, right? But it was going to sail to the south of us a little bit. To answer your question, Aliyah, yeah, I've seen one that big. I've actually, a few years back, we had one that took up almost the whole front of the sun. And I could go back and find those captures. Maybe I'll show them to you guys on the next live stream. But it was big. It was north to south. It was wide. It was all of that. I mean, it was really, really big. But it was huge. It was huge, and that's what we've seen. And it did. Those kinds of things is what we talk about, because those are the events that actually get us like a whole bunch of geomagnetism. And if there's any kind of eruptions around that, it really can, you know, cause some issues. You know, and oftentimes when we're talking about like grid down stuff, and if there's ever anything like that, that's the first thing you're going to hear me say, if I can even tell you at all. Okay, so we're not talking anything grid down right now, but I do want to show you guys this and just kind of point this out. If we get hit with the CME, and we're talking like grid down stuff, it's going to take probably one of two things. A really big one, right? We're talking, you know, Carrington level or bigger. Or we're talking about two smaller X-class flares back to back. Okay? So always keep that in mind. But yeah. Something bad every time you come to this channel? Nothing's bad. I've never said anything bad is happening. No, that's never come out of my mouth. Not one time, Moonrider. Matter of fact, I usually try to speak the other direction. And anybody here will probably tell you that, because I don't do that at all. I just report to you guys what the space weather is. And that's what we see. Nope, that doesn't happen here. I can promise you that. Matter of fact, I speak against that. So either you haven't watched enough, or you haven't been here enough, or you're just simply mistaken. That's not what I do. At all. Matter of fact, I get upset when other people do what you're saying. And you can go back and look at my stuff if you want. It's there. But yeah. I would love to see some examples. If you got any of those, let me know. Because if I've done that, I definitely would want to know that I did. Because it wasn't intentional. I used to do it really, really early on in my channel when I didn't know any better. And frankly, I was pretty embarrassed about a lot of that. And I pulled some of it down. But I leave it up there so you guys can see my mistakes. And go find another YouTube channel that does that. And then say to them what you just said to me and see what happens. They're not going to talk to you. You're just going to get blocked. I'm not going to block you because I appreciate your opinion. So, you know, it's there. And if I've done that in any recent anything, send me a link. I want to see it. Anyway, let's keep moving. And the fact that I addressed that right there, I typically don't do that either. I usually just kind of skip over all that. So, just so you know. But yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of keep moving on. Okay, so we got this, and this happened here, and this is a substantial hole, right? Oh, let me say one more thing about that too, because that did kind of strike me on the side there a little bit. You know, I don't typically do this, so let me just indulge me here for a second. Okay? Go look at everybody else that's talking about these coronal holes right now, including mainstream media. Okay? What you're going to hear isn't what I just said. What you might hear something similar, but most likely what you're going to hear, even from the mainstream media, they're going to be saying this is a big deal. I can promise you that. Some of the licensed physicists and everybody else that are very highly educated, they're going to take this and they're going to talk about this because this is substantial. This is why we talk about it. I haven't done a video in 3 days because there hasn't been much to talk about. Those that are out there screaming the sky's falling are going to be here every day showing you guys it's a bunch of BS that the sky is falling. I don't do that. Just saying. And, you know, that is what it is. So I'm sorry if you think I'm that way. But again, if you want to substantiate that, I can put a Zoom link in the chat here, and you could come on and we can have a discussion if you want. If you've got something to show everybody, let me know. I'll give you a Zoom link, and I'll sit here and I'll shut up. You can show everybody how I say the sky's falling. Crickets. That's what I thought. Anyway. So, we got seeds. So let's go over here to seeds. This is LASCO C2. And this is a satellite, sits out in front of the Earth, about 1 million miles closer to the sun. And yeah, so that's where the satellite's at. That's what we're going to look at here. And what you're seeing here on the left, that's a coronagraph. That's a difference imaging. And what you're seeing there, they do that so you can get a good contrast back and forth. Here on the right, what you're going to get there, that is the typical view that you're going to see. These are actually discs on the camera themselves. Okay, so what you're seeing here is it's there to block the corona, actually. Okay, so the camera can even do its job. So right now you're not seeing a whole lot on the 15th, but let's back up a day. Okay, let's check it out over here. There has been some eruptions. Okay, and again, let me say it again, not every eruption is going to hit us. Not every eruption is going to be grid down. As a matter of fact, I would say 99% of the time, it's not grid down. It's only going to be grid down the one time. And I've said that 1,000 times. So just understand that. But you're seeing a partial halo. Okay? Watch it. Watch down here. See that little haze look you get right here? That's a partial halo. Now these are, to get the direction of which way we're going to go here, this looks like it might be going to the right, right? Well, let's go look at the side view and see if it kind of confirms it, because we can look at stereo A, which is another satellite. So let's look at this one. Earth would be off to your right. Okay, so we know it didn't go off the backside. Now when we go over here and we look at the NASA Enlil spiral, we don't get to see that CME. It was on there earlier. I showed it to you guys on my last live stream, and it did look like it was going to hit us, so we could be seeing that, right? So let's back over here. Now that's the geoelectric field model, and that's something else I wanted to talk about real briefly. You know, we've been having all these big earthquakes, right? And we know that this affects earthquakes. We know this. We know this 100%. And yeah, so my question is, why aren't more people showing this and talking about this? You know, and I'm not saying that this has a big drastic effect on earthquakes, because I don't know. I simply just don't know. And it's a legitimate question that I need answered for me. That I don't know why people aren't showing others this model and showing people, hey, look, we've got these geoelectric conditions at the surface, and it affects earthquakes. And this model here started lighting up about a week before all the earthquakes started happening, and then it stayed active until the earthquakes quit. And I'm not saying that this is what caused the earthquakes. I'm saying that this had played a part. That's all I'm saying. Now, USGS obviously thinks the same, because they're right there with it, right here with NOAA. So, you know, it's affecting it somehow. How they're using it to forecast earthquakes, I don't know. I honestly, I don't. I'm not the earthquake guy, but I can't tell you with a lot of certainty that most people would say that space weather affects earthquakes. You know, how much it affects it, it's going to vary from person to person, how much they think it affects it and in what way. And that's why we got to have more studies and stuff like this. I'm not going to be, you know, doing the earthquake thing. That's not what I do. You know, go watch everybody else that I say all the time. Go watch Ron over at Emergency Management Associates. Dutch. Go watch Dutch. Go watch whoever else. Whoever else is talking about it. Go watch everyone. And you guys are smart. Put the things together yourself. And, you know, just do that. All right? Yeah, we're praying for you, Fee. I seen your name fly through there a second. Is Fee here? Yeah. Yeah, praying for you. That's a hard thing to be going through, girl. I'm sorry you're having to go through that. But anyway, so you know, ask you guys when you guys go to the other channels or whatever, ask them about this, because I truly want to know. I want to know, you know, does this affect things in a bigger way, a smaller way, or what? So when you go talk to these people, ask them to take a look at this, because this thing it started to light up about a week before the earthquake started happening, and you know, they were forecasting the earthquakes. A lot of people were, right, and they were right. You know, so that right there tells me that this is not the only factor. I knew that already, but there has to be so many factors that come into this. So, yeah. Well, Finch, I would like to know what other people think about this model. Other people that do channels and study this. Or even if you guys study it, let me know. I just would really love to know what people's opinion is of this model. Because I do think it, energy in means energy out. It has to go out somewhere, guys. Has to. So, is that what this is trying to show us or not? It's showing you, it tells you what the model's for. Artificial electrical components. Space weather's effect on those. That's what it's showing you. So, yeah. But typically we see it look like this, like what you got in front of you now. But if you remember the past couple weeks, I've been showing you this thing has been lighting up every day. And it's recently calmed down because space weather's calmed down. Let's see here. What you got? That place off the Venezuela coast that has all the lightning. Oh, yeah, you're right about that, Daniel. That's an interesting thing to go look at. It really is. You guys should go take a look at that. There's a place off the Venezuela coast that has all that lightning. Okay, and a lot of that, there is actually a model I could show you guys. Maybe I can pull it up for you. Glad you said that, Daniel. Thank you. See if I can't find it real quick. It's an electron model. It shows you it shows you if there's a fluctuation in here it is. The electron flux. Okay? So, yeah, and it's going to differ. This isn't a global reading, okay? So, what he's talking about there is there's a place off the Venezuela coast there that is lighting up with lightning. Super bolts and everything else they've seen. So, with that being said, when you start adding a bunch of electrons to a specific area, you're going to get that. I would be interested to know what the electron count is there. It's very interesting for sure. So, all right. Now, this is our magnetosphere, guys. Look, the magnetic pressure is really, really low. I'm not even going to bother showing you guys this model or running these models because there's nothing really hitting us right now. Everything's just really, really quiet when it comes to that. But you see it in my title about Ellerman bombs. These are real things, okay? Bombs on the sun. That's what they call them. They call them Ellerman bombs. It's a magnetic explosion on the sun. Okay? I've talked about these briefly before. But they're magnetic explosions. It says right here about 1/1,000,000th as powerful as true solar flares. So they're about 1/1,000,000th weaker than a solar flare. But there's bunches of them on the surface here, and you can actually see them when they're popping off. It's pretty interesting. Next time I catch a cluster of these, I'll take a video for you guys. That way you guys can see them. Because they do kind of conjugate around the sunspots. Okay? There's got to be some instability there for these things to happen. But they're tiny blasts. Ferdinand Ellerman is the one who discovered it. Hence why they're called Ellerman bombs. Spaceweather.com reported on this. They report on these Ellerman bombs a lot. But go give them some love, guys. They do an awesome job. They're in my description box. The link is. Also, the long-range forecast here, guys, they're talking about on the 19th or 20th. Look, this was yesterday. This is back on the 14th they were talking about this. Is today the 14th or the 15th or the 16th? Okay, it's the 15th. That's what I thought. Okay, anyway, so what you guys got there, November 19th to the 20th, that's a longer range forecast. Yeah, Dr. Tony Phillips is saying here. but they're talking about that big coronal hole. Okay, so I'm not the only one talking about it. Right? I would be remiss if I didn't say anything about that coronal hole. First off, it's big. Okay, it's bigger than what we typically see. And I would, I really truly think that we're going to get at least a low-level geomagnetic storm out of this. Okay, so you take that for whatever it's worth. But here's your earthquake map, guys. There was an earthquake up here too, if I remember right, up here in Canada, right about there, if I remember. But you can see how the earthquakes have actually kind of started to die down a little bit. Now that could be good or bad. Okay, always remember that. It could be sitting there building pressure, getting ready to, rock somebody's world again. Or it could be, just starting to calm down for a while. So, yeah. But yeah, so again, now remember, you see in these little eruptions, these things are not that powerful. Okay, the CMEs that are popping off the sun right now are just not that strong. Now I think it's probably going to change. It's just going to. Now remember, within our sun cycle, there are other cycles, other patterns that we can see. Okay, and I'm talking about like the timing of when the sun's active and when it's not. Right now, it's in a period that it's supposed to be a little bit quiet. Even though we're moving towards solar maximum, this is something we expected to see. Okay, it's almost a 6-month cycle is what I'm trying to say. It's like 5.9. There's some cycles there. Okay, we just got to pay attention. So, and also, if you guys want to know if it's better to have your electricity on during a big blast or not, Tamith the Scope actually did a really good video on that. Guys, go over to her channel and check her out on that one. There's a lot of good, she does a lot of good stuff on that because, I don't completely understand why, but some people will tell you that it's good just to shut it all off. Other people will tell you, please leave it on. And I understand what they're saying on both ends of it. I just don't know which one's better. Yeah. So, yeah. So, again, go watch everybody you can and try to get what you can out of it. Also, I'm gonna address this too. I got like 5 emails. Hold on. No, it was 7. 7 emails on this. And I don't know why this time, because it happens all the time. People report on the flickering sun phenomenon. Wages, does geomagnetic energy come in the north and out the south? No. What happens is, you got to understand geomagnetism is plasma. Plasma has a charge, okay? So in order for plasma to get here, it is on a magnetic connection line between us and wherever it came from, the sun, right? So that gives it a polarity. So when it's coming in on the south, it's coming in on the south because it's being drawn in. It probably has a positive declination. Now on the stuff that's coming in on the north, obviously would be the opposite. So that's how it kind of gets split up. It just depends. And we're talking about the BZ and all of that. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but that's, yeah. Now I kind of forgot what I was saying earlier. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to answer that. That was a good question. What was I talking about? Somebody remind me, if you would, please. Yeah, it probably wasn't that important, was it? I forget what I was saying. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Wow. Yep. Oh, the email. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Stessie. Appreciate you. Yeah, the flickering sun phenomenon. Okay? Now, I know there's going to be people that's going to disagree with what I'm getting ready to say. Okay? And that's okay. I ain't mad at you. I'm not. Everybody's allowed to their opinions and what's going on. I would say this. Okay? When you guys look at the flickering sun, you never hear anybody saying they went outside and saw the sun flickering. Okay? What you see is what they see. And it's a video. It's either it's not a picture, it's a video. And it's being taken most likely from their phone. What does that what does that like tell you that you should be looking at? You should look at the phone. Because every one of our cameras, you guys can recreate that flickering phenomenon inside your own house. Okay? The camera is trying to compensate for all the light that it's seeing. It doesn't know how to handle it. So the aperture is actually trying to dim and it's trying to find its sweet spot. Okay, so it gives the appearance of the whole thing flickering. Something else I want to say here too. There's over 7 billion people on this planet. Okay? At any given time, half of them can see the sun, right? So if the sun is flickering, it's not just going to be one person catching it on one video. 8 billion today. Yeah, they did change that, didn't they, Raven? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, about 8 billion. It's not just going to be one person. If I walked outside and the sun was flickering, I don't even know what I would do. The news stations would get flooded. And I'm talking flooded. So what I'm saying here, guys, please, just look at that. If you go outside and you got your camera and you look up and it's flickering, ask the people that are around you if they're seeing the same thing. Because every video I've ever seen on the internet about that people have shown, it's from a video. And you can see, I can recreate it inside my house with my camera. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And that is just what it is, right? So, and again, I'm not trying to, and I wouldn't even address this if I hadn't got so many emails on it. But that's my opinion, guys. And people don't have to. It's not really tricks, Angel. It's just the way that the camera's trying to. It's trying to compensate for the light. There's actually a setting on your phone that you can shut that off. On most cameras, you can do that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, Rip. I was trying to say a little bit nicer than that, but yeah, people would freak out. You would have people running all over the place. What the heck's the sun doing? Why is it flickering? I mean, it would be all over the place, guys. I have a hard time thinking that that's actually what's going on. I think it's just a camera thing, in my opinion. Not everything's a camera thing, but in that's a camera thing in my opinion. If that happens, if somebody sees the sun flickering when they go outside, man, go get every neighbor out of their house and tell them to look up. And I just think that it would just be such a massive thing, and people would just flood the news stations with everything. It would yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say, Finch. I'm just trying to. No, you're right. I just, yeah. Anyway, I try to be nice about things because I understand that people are at a different level, and they do try. Most people are honest in what they think, and you know, there's a lot more good in this world than there is bad, no matter what people say. I've seen too many good things, guys. Too many good things. Too many good people. Too many to sit here and say that ain't the case. So yeah. Hey Sid, good to see you, bud. But that's the space weather. So if you guys wanna, space weather's over. You guys want to talk here for a minute, I will. Hey Nina, good to see you. Oh, you were asking about Scott. I haven't talked to Scott in a while. He hasn't been making any videos or anything, so I don't know what's going on with Scott. I think he's okay. Last I heard, he was okay. I seen the comment. So, but anyway, guys, I mean, yeah. So, with that being said, I just came off a live feed over on the Lifeboat. You guys want to go check that out, please do. I guess I could go there real quick. Marfugel's probably going to go live here in just a minute. Unless he's live now. Yeah, he's live right now. He just went live, I think. Let's yeah, he went live about 10 minutes ago. I thought he wasn't going to go on live till a little bit later, till like 10:30. But anyway, guys, yeah, go over and check out Marfugel, please. But go check out the Lifeboat also. Let me pull up the channel here. If you guys are struggling with addictions or anything like that, anybody in your family, if you yourself are, if you just want to learn, come over here, guys. We do live streams Friday through Tuesday, and at 8 o'clock Eastern. We had an awesome show tonight talking about emotions, how to control them, fentanyl. Yesterday, guys, the new stats came out. We did a video on that. $1 trillion lost. The first time in history that black men are overdosing more than white men. At least that's what the numbers are saying. There was something going on with the DEA, how they were selling out. Tommy did a lot of research on that and came out with some really great content there. It really was. It was good stuff. So go check it out. 421 views on that. That's a pretty big video for us over there. But it's a family over there, guys. No judgment. Come on over. Check it out. We love you guys. And thank you, Rip, for dropping that link in there. Appreciate you, bud. But yeah. So everybody, please go check this out. But go over and check out Marfugel right now. He's live. You guys probably know who he is anyway, but I'm going to say it anyway because it wouldn't be right if I didn't. Matter of fact, we're just going to go here. And I'm going to share that. Going to copy that. And we're going to put the link right here. Okay? So if you guys have never been over to Marfugel, now's your chance. So come check him out. One of the best alternative news stations on the internet, in my opinion. Good friend of mine. Great people over there, guys. A lot of people that are here are already over there. So, guys, come check us out over here on Marfugel. I'm sure he would love to see everybody. So, go there, go everywhere else. Rip, everybody else here has a station, has a channel. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah. You could drink this Kool-Aid.